Good morning, dear students. Now, today we will see about atoms and atomic theory of matter. Now, in the last two videos, we have seen about the law of chemical combination, that is the law of conservation of mass, and law of constant proportion. Right? So, today we will see that when we have learned in chapter 1 states of matter, solid, liquid, gas. Even in the second chapter, we have seen about the element, compound, and mixture. Then, the solid, liquid, and gas, element, compound, and mixtures, what are they made up of? Right? So, here we will start with the matter. Matter is termed as padarth, right? Which is considered that it can be divided and subdivided, and that consideration was long back in India and Greece. Our ancient philosophers of India and Greece, they were thinking that this matter, they can be divided, even subdivided, and it was first idea given by Maharshi Kannad. Maharshi Kannad was a great Indian sage in the Vedic period, and according to him, if a pure substance is broken down into smaller pieces, if a pure substance is broken down into smaller pieces, a stage is reached when no further subdivision is possible. So what Maharshi Kannad told, that if we have any pure substance, right? If I have a piece of chalk, let me consider that it is a pure substance. And if I am breaking it, and if I keep on breaking it, and a point will reach, a time will reach, a stage is reached, that means a time will reach that now I won't be able to break that chalk further. Right? This was the idea given by Maharshi Kannad. So he called that the smallest particle of pure substance, which is not now further divided, that is Anu. That is what it is. According to Maharshi Kannad, it is Anu. Right? And Anu, that means molecules. And what he is giving idea further, each molecule of a substance has the same properties. What does this mean? Each molecule of a substance has the same properties. So, when I broke the pieces of chalk into further and further particles, then each particles behave having same properties. He also believed that each Anu may be made up of still two or more particles, and those particles are called Parmanu. Then what he told, that it may happen that the smallest particle which we have made from the pure substance, even these particles may have two or more still small particles, and which are Parmanu, and that is the atom. So Parmanu means atom and Anu means molecule, right? So according to Maharshi Kannad, a Parmanu is the smallest unit of a matter. Parmanu, that is atom, is the smallest unit of the matter. Then later, the Greek philosophers around 400-500 BC. BC, that means before the birth of Christ. That means before the birth of Christ, 500 years ago, the Greek philosophers believed that matter is composed of tiny particles which cannot be destroyed. What they told, that matter composed of very tiny particles, but those particles are so tiny that they are not destroyed further. The Greek philosopher Democritus called such tiny particles atoms, and then the Democritus has given that these are the atoms, which our Maharshi Kannad gave earlier than them, or we can say earlier than Democritus, and Maharshi Kannad told it as a Parmanu. because he was Maharishi. So he gives a name in the Sanskrit language. So Parmanu and Anu is the Sanskrit word, which is also considered now for Gujarati and Hindi word together. Right? As per the Greek, the word atomos is having a Greek meaning. It means uncut or not divisible. So from this the word has come atoms. That means atoms are not further divisible, or it is not able to cut. But there was no experimental evidence to support this idea. This idea was theoretical only. There was no any experimental idea or no any proof. When we say evidence, then there was no any experimental proof to support this idea. In the last video you have seen that conservation of mass, but there we were having the evidence of experiment that even if we were heating the conical flask and the test tube, before and after the heating and getting it mixed, we saw that the mass remains the same. So that is called a proof by experiment. But here no experimental proof was there. Then in 1805, an English school teacher, John Dalton, he gave the atomic theory, which became very famous, and so that atomic theory is now termed as Dalton's atomic theory. So what is Dalton's atomic theory? Right? He has given some postulates in the regards of the atomic theory. So let us see the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. The first is all forms of matter. Now all forms of matter, that means they may be solid, liquid or gas, and they may be element, compound and mixture. So these all forms of matter are made up of very small particles called atoms, right? All forms of matter, whether they are solid, liquid, gas, element, compound or mixture, but they are made up of very small particles which are called atoms. Second postulate, atoms cannot be created, divided or destroyed. We are not there to make atom. We are not there to divide atom, or even it is not possible by us to destroy, to damage the atom. The second postulate. The third is all atoms of an element are identical and differs from those of the other elements. All atoms of an element are identical, but if we take an example of only one element, then all its particles are similar to it. But if we consider the different element, then their particles will be differ. Right? Here I have given an example. Suppose we take an example of hydrogen, then hydrogen consists of only the atoms of hydrogen. So all will be same. And if we consider oxygen, then oxygen consists of only the atoms of oxygen. So all those particles of oxygen will be similar to each other. All are same. But now if I compare the atoms of hydrogen to the oxygen, then hydrogen differs from the atoms of oxygen, or we can say atoms of oxygen differs to the atoms of hydrogen. And the fourth postulate is atoms of elements combine in the ratio of whole number to produce compound atoms. This we know that the combination of the elements are in the proper ratio. It's not haphazard, constant law of proportion, right? So this was the fourth postulate, that atoms of elements combine in this ratio of whole numbers to form compound. Here only the example is that, see, atoms, hydrogen atom, oxygen atom. When both both want to exist as a compound water, then they are the elements and they have to combine in the proper ratio of H2O, right? So then only the existence of compound atoms takes place. So we have seen the postulates of Dalton, but now here drawbacks of the Dalton's atomic theory is also given. Drawbacks, that means when Dalton studied and he gave his idea, after that few more scientists have also studied, and the modern research and modern study gave some other ideas which was aparting from the Daltons. That means they overcome the Dalton's theory, and that's why the Dalton some postulates were considered that it was not correct, and those are termed as drawbacks of Dalton's theory. Actually, I would like to say that this is the theory which made possible to think about the atoms and particles of the atoms and furthermore all modern research. So it is the basic atomic theory which existed, and on its basis the other research is possible, right? So according to Dalton's atomic theory, an atom is the smallest indivisible particle of matter. Indivisible. Dalton told that if we break up the the element, and the particles, and the smallest particle at last which we get, then that is the atom, and now it can't be divided further. It is indivisible, right? As I told that if I break the piece of chalk into smallest and smallest particle, and now the stage reach, that now I am not able to divide that smallest particle, that is the atom. It is the Dalton's idea. But the modern study shows that the atom is divisible. So what happened later on, the studies took place, and those studies were considered modern study, new study, and they told that, those scientists told that no, atom is divisible, and it is still having even smaller particles within the atom, which are electrons, protons and neutrons. So modern study told that if atom is not divisible, then how electron, protons and neutrons are there in the atom? And if atom is the divisible, then is the smallest, then what about the electron, protons and neutrons? They are still smaller than the atoms, right? So according to modern new study, atom is still divisible into smaller particles. The second idea of Dalton theory says that all atoms of an element have exactly same mass. All atoms of an element. If we think of only one element, suppose hydrogen, then all atoms of the hydrogen are having equal same mass. But the discovery of isotopes showed that all atoms of the same element are not perfectly identical, are not perfectly same. So what is isotopes first of all? Isotopes, that means the elements which exist with the same atomic number, but their atomic mass is different. So here you see all are hydrogen. Hydrogen with atomic mass 1, hydrogen with atomic mass 1, hydrogen with atomic mass 1. But you see atomic number 1 each. But you see the mass here. Here hydrogen atomic mass 1, here hydrogen atomic mass 2, here hydrogen atomic mass 3. Right? All are hydrogen. So all are hydrogen similar or same element, but their mass are different. So here also the postulates of Dalton is incorrect, right? So later on the existence of isotopes came, and from this the modern study told that even the element is similar, their mass is not similar. So this is the first hydrogen primitive. So protium having 2 mass, so deuterium having 3 atomic mass, so tritium, but are all having 1 proton and 1 electron, so they are called isotopes of hydrogen. So next is Dalton's atomic theory told the atoms of different elements have different mass. Atoms of different elements have different mass. But here also the modern study shows that even the atoms of different elements have equal mass, right? So that also you will learn in the higher classes. So now here, from all this study, what we can conclude about the atom. So here is the question. What is an atom? An atom is the smallest particle of an element which takes part in chemical reactions. As we are learning chemistry, so we must be able to correlate our all studies with the chemical reaction. So an atom is the smallest particle of an element which takes part in chemical reactions. Atoms of one element are different from other elements. As I have just explained about hydrogen and oxygen, so one element is different from the other. Atoms are building blocks of matter. Building blocks. That means if we want to build a house, we want bricks. In the same way, if we want to build a matter, we want atom. Suppose you think that this is the matter. The existence of this matter is because of this atom. If you think that this is a room, then these are the bricks. So with the help of these bricks, the room is made. In the same way, this is the matter, and the existence of this matter is because of the atom. And so we can say atoms are the building blocks of the matter. Right? Atoms are very, very small, which is not able to seen by our naked eye or even the electron simple microscope also. Atoms are very small, and hydrogen atom having only one electron, one proton is the smallest among all the elements. The radius of hydrogen atom is 1 into 10 raised to minus 10 meter. Radius, that means a measurement of a length from center to the endpoint, one of the endpoint on the circle. So these radius of hydrogen is very, very small, 1 into 10 raised to minus 10 meter, or it is 1 nanometer. Nm stands for nanometer, very, very small. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 9 meter. Now what is this minus and minus 10? 1 into 10 raised to minus 10, it is means 1 upon 10 raised to 10. If I want to write in the fraction form, then what can I write for this? It is 1 upon 10 raised to 10, right? 1 upon 10 raised to 10, it means 1 upon, see here, 10 raised to 10. After 1, 10 zeros. So if we have 1 meter, then if you divide 1 meter, and if you make this many parts of that 1 meter, that is the radius of the hydrogen. So think how small it is, right? Atoms are so small that cannot be seen even by the powerful microscope. They were studied by the STEM. The first image of thorium atom was produced in 1970 by the technique which is called STEM. STEM stands for, full form is Scanning Transmission Electron Microscopy Technique. Scanning Transmission Electron Microscopy is the technique by which the image of atoms are possible, right? So this is all about the atom. Clear? Thank you.